A little device causing some big problems for some people. Apple Airtags. They're the coin-sized gadget. It allows owners to track misplaced items. But as NewsNation has learned, some people are also using them to track other people. Airtags can attach to practically anything. The small button-shaped device is simply placed on an item, then tracked via an app. The Airtag speaker and Bluetooth antenna will then ping the location of the missing item, and voila, keys found. So what's the problem? Stalkers and thieves are planting the tiny devices and then following their movements. Hundreds of people have reported being tracked by Airtags, and there are fears that number could grow exponentially. In a new report from Vice Media's Motherboard, the results of 150 police reports involving Airtags are startling. 50 cases were from women who called police when they received notifications that their whereabouts were being tracked. Of those, 25 knew the person, ex-partners, husbands, and bosses. Recently, 38-year-old Ray David Valverde Jr. was accused of stalking a woman in Texas by slipping an Apple Airtag onto her car. Another woman found an Airtag behind her license plate, and police are now concerned Airtags could be used by sex traffickers. The attorneys general of at least 2 states have issued warnings about the misuse of the Apple trackers as a stalking tool. Both New York and Pennsylvania have offered tips to identify whether an Airtag has been placed on you. Apple is aware its product is being used for stalking. The tech giant has released a new personal safety user guide and issued this statement. We condemn in the strongest possible terms any malicious use of our products. They go on to say Apple has been working closely with various safety groups and law enforcement agencies through our own evaluations and these discussions. We have identified even more ways we can update Airtag safety warnings and help guard against further unwanted tracking. Well, the author of that Vice News article joins NewsNation Live now. Samantha Cole, thank you so much for being with us here on Rush Hour. First, as a woman, which of these stories disturbed you the most? Was there one that maybe just really stood out to you?
Honestly, what stood out to me was probably the consistency throughout the stories that did talk about someone who was stalking them. A lot of them followed a really similar pattern where someone had an abusive partner or an ex-partner or a man had become violent after they had broken up. And then they had taken out an order of protection against them or gone to the police once. And then from there, they started seeing this man around town and wondering how he knew where she was at all times. And, he would show up at work, he would show up at her house and kind of be watching her, even though she had already taken the measures to kind of protect herself against him. So yeah, that was the most kind of striking thing to me is the reports really followed this very specific pattern of a man escalating his stalking and harassment after she tried to cut ties with him.
Well, Samantha, what's so scary about this is, these Airtags are designed to not let things become lost. They're designed to keep track of things, to find things. So how are police suggesting that people protect themselves from being tracked this way?
So a lot of the reports that I read, and I can just kind of speak to what was in the reports that we read, the police responded saying, you can take out another order of protection, you can call a domestic violence hotline, you can obviously take the Airtag off of your vehicle or, turn it in for evidence and kind of keep a paper trail that way. They were all doing the right thing and kind of, starting this reporting process and saying the behavior is escalated. I need someone to know about this. But beyond that, there was not a lot that police were kind of saying to these women to protect themselves because there's not a ton to be done when you don't know you're being tracked.
Well, so what about other devices like this? We're talking about the Airtags, but Tile has been making tracking devices. They're also for keys, for wallets, for phones. Are other products also being reported as being used by stalkers?
So we don't quite know the scale of that yet. This is the first time we've really seen the scale of the Airtags being abused in a way that we've kind of had this theoretical, or like you said, there have been like here and there cases where people have reported being stalked with them. But, this is the first time we've seen where it's actually happening in a really large scale. As far as the other devices, we're not totally sure yet. I mean, they're even harder to detect. Some of the experts that I talked to for this reporting said the fact that people are going to the police or reporting that they found Airtags is evidence that they're working, that the notifications and the safety systems that Apple has put into place are actually finally kicking in, and people are able to find the Airtags in the first place. And with these other devices, like you said, like Tile and others, there's no such notification coming to your phone where you're being followed by them. So
Right.
there's a lot to be done in this industry to protect people.
Yeah, I mean, it's scary for the people that, with the AirTags, if you don't have an iPhone, how do you know? So, Samantha Cole, thank you so much for your reporting, for joining us live. Great information there. We appreciate it. And we'll be right back. Thank you for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.